and welcome in to, I think, probably we'd have to call this getting help from not Uncle Sam this time, but somebody really special. And I know that you have all seen when a crime is committed, they say, if you know anything, please call Crime Stoppers. Well, what exactly is Crime Stoppers? And everybody needs to know. And we've got with us today, Tony Garrett. I've worked with you before. You were a former, you were in your uniform though, your police uniform. So this is the person, folks, who's going to tell you what Crime Stoppers is and what did you do before you got with Crime Stoppers?
Well, actually, Crime Stoppers was started while I was a police officer.
Okay.
As a police officer, I requested that we have a Crime Stopper program in the city of Montgomery. Then John Wilson was our chief, and Beth Jett with WSFA.
Okay.
She came in on the back end and she asked, and we teamed up, and we are the founders of Central Alabama CrimeStoppers, or then Montgomery Area Crime Stoppers.
Right, wonderful.
So we started as a city program for Montgomery, and now it is a non-profit, separate entity in itself. And we serve 33 counties, 120 plus law enforcement agencies.
Wow. Where does your funding come from?
We are a non-profit, so we have to ask. So I might ask you before I leave.
I'll donate. You know, I think what we would like to do is, when I called you to see about you coming on the show, and I said to him, well, you have my number because it'll be the number that I called you on, which was my cell phone. And he said, no, ma'am, we don't record the incoming numbers, so I don't have your number. I think that we need to let people know how safe this is. Because I think sometimes, Tony, people are afraid to say anything, and it's secure.
It is. Sometimes people just don't want to be personally involved. They'll say something as long as they can remain anonymous. Since 1997, that's the start of Crime Stoppers.
Okay.
May 7th, 1997.
Wow.
We've never had anyone to be identified in any form or fashion. If they were identified, it was because of their own making, where they decided to communicate with the investigator on their own.
Okay.
But on our end, when you call, we give you a code or a number. And that number is pretty much connected to the information that you give. So when you call back, you give us that number and we type it in, and it comes up through our software, the information that you sent to us or gave us, to send it to police.
So as an example, so that everybody understands, let's say that there is something, I see something in my neighborhood. I decide to call Crime Stoppers. You don't have my telephone number. What I tell you is, there is a man driving a 1987 Ford. It is dark blue. He has had a gun. I think he has broken into the house. This is the time it is. This is the address. So then you have that information. Then if I call back and I know something else, then that code takes you to what I just told you?
Exactly. We can update that information, the original information that you gave us.
But that's all you have on me?
Yes, that's it.
You don't know where I live? You don't know my name?
When we get your information, it goes into a secure software that pretty much is separate from your telephone call.
Great.
When we send that to law enforcement, everything is pretty much whitewashed or cleaned, so to speak. So anything that identifies you, such as, well, that's going to be my cousin, I'm related to him, we're going to take that out. Even though you said it.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
We're going to take that out, so law enforcement cannot identify you by saying, that's my cousin.
So you know the things that might lead to somebody, and on your own, Crime Stoppers takes that out.
Yes, every staff member that answers the phone for Crime Stoppers, they're retired law enforcement, 20 plus years.
See, I had no idea. I didn't even know who ran Crime Stoppers, I mean, how it worked or anything. And they're all former law enforcement folks?
Yes. For example, we may get a call on what you were saying of a person that may be selling drugs or burglarized a house, or just yesterday or day before yesterday, Ray, he answered the phone. Person was trying to commit suicide. So you never can tell what type of telephone call that you receive. Now we get about probably around 40% telephone calls that we have to answer. The rest is actually through the internet. We have an app called P3 Tips that you can download.
Now,
You
what
can
is this again?
P3 Tips. It's an
P3.
app. It's a social
Okay.
media app.
Okay.
You download it, and you can actually put in the information that you want to send to the police through that app, and you still remain anonymous. You upload video, upload photos. For example, we had a person that said drug dealers just moved next door last month. This was a call that I took this morning. They said they just moved in, they're selling drugs, they may be doing some type of human trafficking, because I see a lot of females. And what they did, they downloaded the app after I got through speaking with them, and they started putting up video from their security camera.
Oh, great.
Because every information that law enforcement receives, they use it. So the more information they have, the better that they can work the case.
Right.
The less information, it makes it harder.
Oh, Tony, thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you for your years in uniform. Thank you for doing this. And next week, we're going to come back and have more about Crime Stoppers. So please, if you see something,
say something.
Say something and call Crime Stoppers. And thank you for being with us, and we'll be right back.